I want to just talk about a film or a documentary that I just recently finished watching. It is called The Coming War on China. And this documentary basically talks about how the US has been priming the citizens of America to psychologically accept war with China. Um, this is a documentary that, of course, you want to go in looking at it open mindedly. You want to do your own research, of course, and see exactly what's going on. This is one of those documentaries that you take in and just absorb, and at the same time, look at it from a different point of view, and then do your due diligence to figure out how that ties into exactly what's going on now. And it's a very interesting documentary. Um, it talks about how the U.S. has, and I quote here, it says, the U.S. has been encircling China with a noose of military bases since the Korean War, which all have massive amounts of military firepower, including nuclear firepower pointed right at China's cities. So again, this is something that you want to look at from a point of view of objectivity, and not with any underlying opinions until you see the documentary and until you do your own due diligence. So I highly recommend this documentary, especially during this time where things are so uncertain, and we're looking at economic differences between how we were and how we are now. So it's definitely a great documentary to look at if you have, an hour or two. It's something that will educate you on history with China and on possible current relations and future relations with China, who has clearly been deemed a huge economic superpower. And of course, through all of this unwinding of the coronavirus and Wuhan. The article that this video is attached to says, and I quote, "The aim of this film is to break a silence. The United States and China may as well be on the road to war, and nuclear war is no longer unthinkable." It's a 2016 documentary, and again, this is something that it's a reality when it comes to our way of living. When you do these types of research, you're gonna find things that you may agree with and that you may not agree with. In this case, like I said, you want to look at this from a point of view of, this is what's going on. Is this a possibility? Here's why. Is this not a possibility? Here's why, and here are the data and the facts to support that. So as I continue reading this article here, there's a lot of important things that it comes across. Basically saying that China is, undoubtedly a economic superpower, number 2 to the U.S. And it says here, and I quote, "China has therefore always been a final boss fight in the global campaign of violence and domination by what Pilger calls the empire which never speaks its name." So it's referring to the U.S. and its competition with China. It's a lot of things here that you want to look into. My opinion is, for me, I think that there's definitely key points when it comes to what they're presenting, and you make your own decision as to if it's real or not. But one thing that we will see and that you will need to pay attention to is how the policies and the administration will uh, react to the economy here and the slowdown and the virus and a lot of what's going on, depends on economic stability. And right now we don't have any, from what we know. So just keep your eyes open when it comes to the data, the facts, and understand that you need to do your research, not accept things at face value, because many times there's politics that's involved, and people have their agenda, and so certain things might be biased, and it might be excluding certain facts to make a point. So that's why it's extremely important that you do research, do your due diligence, and look for things that might not be in the open. Do look for things that can be underneath or behind the curtain per se. And that's my 2 cents on the video. It's definitely a documentary that you want to take a look at. Tell me what you think about the video. I would love to hear, and I'm very interested to hear what you think about it. So when you get a chance, look at the video, comment below once you do, and I look forward to hearing from y'all.